In our first story, there was violence on the streets of part of Accra on Wednesday as police clashed with pro-opposition demonstrators who are demanding a new voters register for the next general elections in 2016.
Now, what was meant to be a peaceful procession turned chaotic when the demonstrators reportedly tried to use an unapproved route.
The demonstration started peacefully at Obrasport, where protesters were seen with placards spelling their demands for a new voters register.
It is our right to demonstrate. We have the right to demonstrate. So that I don't think the EC has the right to resist our demonstration. That wouldn't be right.
What else are you going to do?
We'll keep, pleading with them to do the right thing, because it will be more expensive or it will be more costly to go into war than to listen to the voice of the people. Whether or not we like it, our neighboring countries have gone through it. It has happened in our neighboring countries, so we shouldn't be complacent. We shouldn't think that it cannot happen in Ghana. When people are fed up, when people are tired of bad governance, they will resist. They will stand up against the bad governance. What I advise the EC to do is to listen to the voice of the masses.
With the crowd growing thicker, a promise of a peaceful protest by organizers seemed a little too difficult to adhere to as the demonstrators chose to use an unapproved route. In its attempt to get the protesters to stick to the approved routes, the police fired tear gas and deployed water cannons into the gathering.
Eventually, they set off to their destination, which is Hasselfolk Park, through the approved route, that is coming Kuma Avenue, linking up with the Atani High Street, and then terminating at the Hasselfolk Park. However, a little distance into the journey, they decided to veer off onto this particular route that we are standing on, apparently heading for the EC, much against the order of the court. And police, being peace officers and law enforcers, we decided to stop them. And that is what we have been doing up to this point.
Some random arrests were made, with the convener of the Let My Vote Count Alliance spending several hours in police custody. Some protesters also seem to have suffered one form of assault or another, with former executive director of Dankwa Institute, Gabi Otridaku, among a number of persons spotted with bruises.
And so we'll bring you a lot more updates and discussions on that very subject on this very show this morning. But in the meantime, though, the Ghana Journalists Association is also demanding thorough investigations into recent deaths of two of its members.
The first and most notable involves a member of the Presidential Press Corps, Samwell Yaa, who died in a motor accident at Dawenya near Tema. The second case the GJA once investigated is the murder of John Abanga, a journalist with Success FM at Goso in the Bono Ahafo region.
The Ghana Journalists Association has in the last few weeks come under severe criticism for doing very little to defend its members under attack or in distress. This followed the death of the Ghanaian Times reporter Samwell Yaa, who lost his life in the accident involving the Presidential Press Corps. The fallouts from the accident, including the destruction of a tape recorder belonging to a journalist from the state broadcaster by a presidential staffer, cast the president of the GJA as someone who cared more about defending the presidency than championing the welfare of members of his association. No surprise, therefore, that even though the president, Afel sat through the association's news conference, it was rather the general secretary who did most of the talking. Dave Agbenu demanded a comprehensive investigation into the deaths of not just Samwell Yaa, but also the killing of John Abanga, so that those found criminally liable could be brought to book.
As you know, Samwell Yaa is still fresh in our minds. We lost our colleague in Kumasi some time ago, and we are yet to come to full closure with that murder, because even though some people were said to have been arrested, we do not have full closure. So we want to exert some amount of pressure instead on the police to ensure that this one is investigated, the culprits apprehended, tried, and prosecuted.
The GJA is also appealing to the public to remain calm while awaiting the outcome of police investigations into the deaths of Nyama and Abanga.
And journalists, all of us, will today bid farewell to our colleague Samwell Yaa of the Ghanaian Times newspaper, who died in the Presidential Press Corps accident some weeks ago.
Well, sadly, since last month, neither the police nor government had explained what led to the accident involving the Presidential Press Corps. Sources say investigations into such matters should not last more than a week after the DVLA did its assessment and presented its findings to the police. The National Road Safety Commission took samples of the tires. Upon painstaking examination, concluded that the tires were not in good condition and not suitable for the roads. Meanwhile, the Accra Regional Commander of the Motor Traffic and Transport Department has told Joy News they are yet to complete investigations into the accident. Joy News has also learned the police are yet to question the driver of the vehicle.
And as we bid him farewell, we all say, may he rest in perfect peace. About 200 prospective Muslim pilgrims were left disappointed and angry on Wednesday morning after they were told they could not be airlifted to the Holy Land of Mecca.
Now, after waiting at the Hajj village here in Accra for several days, they were told that instead of seats on a Saudi-bound plane, they should get on buses and return to their homes. Hannah Dami reports on pilgrimage truncated.
Abdul Mumini has gotten his passport, he's gotten his visa, he's gotten his boarding pass, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Abdul Mumini is excited. At least he gets to go to the Holy Land this year. But not everyone at the Hajj village was as happy on Wednesday morning. They are the ones who have been told that after several days of waiting, they cannot be airlifted to the Holy Land. Deputy Communications Director for the Hajj Committee, Amin Lamte, explains this is due to some errors in the passports of the prospective pilgrims.
The real problem that we have this year is basically the normal issue. It's perennial. Number one, delay in coming of passports. People would have to go and pay but have no passport. So they have to pay and then wait till the passport is out. And then you also have people who present their documents, everything, go and pay with passport, but the passport is defective.
He gave the assurance that refunds will be made to those who demand them. But this did not go down well with the prospective pilgrims.
I have been sleeping here for the past 2 weeks because my agent told me all my documents are ready for the trip. But after the last batch of names were mentioned, I realized he has been deceiving me. All I want is my passport so I can go back home. I'll demand for my money later. I am so sad I couldn't go, that my health has even been affected.
We had people who are telling us that they went for their passport on Friday and they are having their visa now. They are going. So we think the system of reusing the biometric passport during the Hajj is not favoring the Muslims.
Anytime I come, my agent tells me I will travel to Mecca. Even as at this moment when the last batch of names have been mentioned and I wasn't included, he still assures me I will travel, but I am not interested anymore. All I want is my passport so I can go home.
My name is Hannah Odami Abbey for Joy News.
I'm hanging in here and waiting for 1 year that we'll have a smooth. I don't know, I think last year was better.
Yes, it was better. I mean, this one has been relatively better. The thing is, the Saudi authority decide how many people they want to make entry into Mecca. They can give you a quota of 3 million, but within the process of having a lot more people coming from other countries, and we should bear in mind it's not only Ghana that will be going, other Muslim countries.
Sure.
They decide to cut sometimes the numbers, or decide to block the number of flights that will come in at a particular time, and so sometimes the authorities in their respective countries are restricted.
I think what's shameful is, you know, you've told everybody in your town that you're traveling, you're going to Mecca.
The point is, ideally, if these people had the means, they would have taken their own private flight and gone. That's how it is.
I think one of the major problems too was the fact that people didn't have visas. Some don't have their passports. Good. So you can't travel if you don't have the visa. Well, those who are made their way, we wish them the very best. Those back here with us, I mean, there's always another time. So please get over it. Let's do it next year.
Well, let's get on to some other stories. And interim leaders in Burkina Faso, they've been detained by guards supporting ousted President Blaise Compaoré.
Well, President Michael Kafando and Prime Minister Isaac Zida were detained at the cabinet meeting at the presidential palace in the capital of Ouagadougou. It comes 2 days after a commission recommended the disbanding of the Presidential Guard, RSP. Shots were fired to disperse hundreds of protesters near the palace where the detainees remain. No injuries, though, have been reported, but there is said to be an air of panic in the capital, with shops shutting early and many more people heading home.
And that way for the news for the morning. In the meantime, always make sure you get interactive on our social network page. On Facebook, we have a full page that is regularly updated by lead producers and a comprehensive, well-knowledgeable online team we have here. And the page's name on Facebook is Join Us on TV, which has a link on our Twitter handle at Join Us on TV, and also a channel on YouTube, My Joy Online.
When we come back, we'll try and tell you what the other media houses are reporting. Stay with us.
We'll be right back.